Is there a more iconic Christmas snack than the candy cane, I ask you?
Elf pussy.
Besides Elf Pussy, is there a more iconic Christmas snack? There's not really, right?
Mm-mm.
I mean, I'm posing that question as a serious question.
Fruitcake.
Fruitcake. I wish we had a fruitcake. Let me tell you why.
Okay.
I think I'm the only person on the planet that loves fruitcake.
You love fruitcake.
If we had a fruitcake right here, if we had if we had dear Ma's homemade fruitcake, I can tell you right now, 10.
I don't know that I've ever had a homemade fruitcake. I feel like the only fruitcake I've ever had has been prepackaged.
My mother wraps it in some form of mesh, drenches it with bourbon, keeps it for, I think, a decade in the freezer, comes out at Christmas time, pulls one out, slices it up. It's moist, I think, because of the bourbon and the decade, and it is unbelievable. Flat out 10 for me. I've had a couple of store-bought ones. Flat out 0.
Okay, well, see, that's the difference. The homemade often makes an enormous, enormous difference, as we have found in our travels along the snack world.
We have. A pre-processed packaged thing can often suffer in comparison. And, for example, one of the best examples of that might be the homemade chocolate chip cookies, which we made, which was a beyond category rating for us on the PER system, the PER system, the pick, eat, rate system.
It's a perfect example. Now, I've never had a homemade candy cane. I don't know that such a thing exists. It must somewhere.
Really? You think so? You think
sure,
someone's whipping up
absolutely something.
Maybe in the North Pole.
I doubt in the North Pole, Tom.
You don't think they're whipping them up in the North Pole?
I think they're barely surviving up there. I mean, they're eating.
I'm talking Santa's workshop.
Oh, sure. No, I think they buy them.
You think so?
I think that.
I find that depressing. Because the elves, they can't go out in society. I mean, if you know, you look what happened to Will Ferrell. It's very difficult for an elf to venture into society. So really, they have to have tasks. And so one of the tasks is, look, in June, maybe that's the month they make the candy canes. It's always snowy out there. It's always cold. Candy canes are kind of always in season.
Now, when I Google homemade candy canes, I get, plenty of 2.6 million results. So clearly somebody's making homemade candy canes. That's all I'm saying. That's my only point. And I've never had a homemade one. I've only had the store-bought, which this is individually wrapped in cellophane. We'll get to it.
Can you click on one of those 2.6 million results and see something specific? Is there a place where we could buy a homemade candy cane? Get a homemade candy cane? A homemade candy cane recipe?
Well, I've got one right here.
The more I say candy cane, the more I like saying candy cane.
All right, so if you want to know how to make...
candy cane?
If you want to know how to make a homemade...
candy cane?
The first thing you need is 3 cups of sugar.
This is for what?
A candy cane.
Candy cane?
Yeah.
3 cups of sugar?
1 cup of light corn syrup.
Light corn syrup for the candy cane?
1/4 cup of water.
Water,
half a
sugar, corn syrup.
And this is where
candy cane?
This is where you're really going to...
You're going to say peppermint?
Yes.
Yeah.
You need some peppermint extract.
You need some peppermint. What? Nice rack?
No.
Thanks.
Extract. Half a teaspoon of peppermint extract, few drops of red coloring, and this is the wild card ingredient, plastic gloves.
Plastic gloves go into a candy cane?
I guess so. I'm not going to read the recipe, but that's in the ingredients, so I'm assuming that's how... And you're not going to get... Look,
that's why that keeps it preserved, I guess. Plastic gloves.
There's got to be a way for these things to have plastic on the outside of them, and I guess it's the plastic gloves that do it.
I guess that melts when you put them in the foyer. I guess that melts it.
Yeah. The thing that you're not going to get in the homemade candy cane recipe that you're going to get with the factory candy cane.
The spiral Barbie pole.
Beautiful
barber pole.
Barbershop spiral.
Yeah. How do they do that? Obviously, there's some twisting involved on the conveyor belt.
Oh, yeah. If you've ever seen one of these conveyor belts, they're twisty. They got twisty conveyor belt.
Yeah, the twisty conveyor belts. You want the straight or the... How many times does that happen when the processing plant is they're churning out some kind of fry boots, and next thing you know, some idiot ordered the twisty conveyor belt?
Yep.
Dumb.
Well, maybe dumb, but that's how candy canes were invented.
That's how they were invented. Some guy got a twist. He got his belt up in a twist.
Right.
And a candy cane was invented.
Exactly right.
And an angel got her wings. That's awesome.